Hi kids, I'm Mr. Langford, and this is a video on understanding the difference between fiction and nonfiction. Not an easy thing. It takes a lot of practice to get the hang of it. But let me show you quickly. I've drawn a picture of these glasses next to the word fiction because that's made up stuff. That's not true. I put a picture of myself next to nonfiction to remind us that nonfiction stories are true. Let me give you an example of a nonfiction story. Here's a book about spiders. Spiders are real. There are pictures of spiders in here, and it tells what they eat and how they protect themselves. So this is a non-fiction story. On the other hand, here's a very, very popular series called Magic Treehouse. And this is about a boy and a girl who crawl in a treehouse and time travel to other dimensions and other times. And while there are elements of truth to this, there really were the Olympics. They talk about historical figures, the Civil War, and things like that. But still, this is made up. In fact, we call this realistic fiction because it has some elements of truth in there. Here's another example of nonfiction, the Titanic. It really was a ship. And this book is full of pictures and drawings and maps and telling about the Titanic and what happened to it. It's a true story. It is nonfiction. Here's a story called Hamburger Heaven about a pig who works in a diner and creates menus for their animal clientele. It's clearly made up. This is not true at all. No real people, no real events. It is fiction. This is a nonfiction story about Roberto Clemente. He was a famous baseball player, played for the Pittsburgh Pirates. It was a real person. Real events, tells about his life, and it's got drawings, which usually means fiction, but in this case, this is just how the author illustrated the book. Not photographs, but drawings. It's a great story about Roberto Clemente, a real person, and real events in his life. Lastly, here's a fiction book called Two Bad Ants, about two ants who leave the ant hill and go to a house and steal sugar crystals and all the shenanigans that they get into. But this is made up. It's got a house in it, but that's the only part that's real. These ants talk to each other and everything. It's not. This is fiction. Okay, I'm Mr. Langford, and this has been a video on fiction and nonfiction. I'll see you next time.